Angry guy here, and Candace Owens calls modern women nasty. Candace Owens calls modern women nasty. Let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
Nasty now. Something I've noticed, I wanted to say this right at the top of 2024, we have become the perverts. In fact, what's even more ironic is that as we point the finger and pretend that men are the perverts, Me Too error, time's up, oh my gosh, I'm so scared. It is so clearly evident everywhere that you look in society that it's actually us. We have become the sexual aggressors. Now, before I get into that, I want to point to this article. It is old. It was published in 2016. The author's name is Amy Otto. And she wrote, "Men did greater things when it was harder to see boobs." I totally agree with that statement. Don't even have to think hard about it. She writes, "Giving sex for free destroyed men's motivation. Men used to marry younger and in larger numbers to lock down their very own real-life woman. But now, in a bizarre gambit to gain equality, women gave away a ton of the power that they had accumulated in society. They held the majority of the cards in sexual relationships and, facing a royal flush, decided to fold. Women used to set the cultural standards and the parameters for intimate activity. Now, often the guys wield more power over sex, and the girls are working way too hard, way too soon, with no reciprocity. More widely available hookups have made men less likely to commit." Let's explore that, because as I said, it is true. This is the long result of the women's movement, the feminist movement, the second wave that took place in the 1970s, where suddenly you had a bunch of cultural leaders like Gloria Steinem, writers like Helene Crixus, who were suddenly telling women that domesticity was wrong, that they needed to pursue their sexual freedom. And now the results of it are abundant. Every time I open the internet, I am actually shocked. I'm going to take you through a few things that I saw while I was on maternity leave, and I just went, what is happening? What is this woman doing? This is not a woman that is free. She is a pervert. If a man did this, he'd probably be put into prison. But because she's a woman, people are pretending that this is okay. Take this one example. This is a social media influencer. Her name is Natalie Reynolds. And she decided one day, she woke up and said, "I am just going to paint my body like leggings and wear them to the gym." I'm serious. She was butt naked and decided to paint blue onto herself and go to the gym to see how men would react. And it turns out that men did not think it was cute or it was funny. Take a listen.
If you don't have clothes on, you need to be out of here, man.
I do have clothes on.
That's funny.
Go closer.
How's your body thing?
That is funny. I work in the industry enough to know. I work in the entertainment field.
He's saying you need to leave. He's not.
Leaving you out the honor.
No, no, report you for decency.
Report me.
Cool.
Good.
I mean, she's covered, so.
Yeah, she's covered.
She's covered. Also, we're not supposed to videotape her.
Now, why would Natalie do that? Why would any individual, I actually want you to flip your brain, if a man said, I'm going to go to a gym where there's a bunch of women and I'm just going to paint my nether regions blue. And then I'm going to get closer to a person and get close and say, oh, no, what's the problem here? You would call the police. But because she's a woman, somehow she thought this would be funny. I don't know. She offered this apology on Twitter, really kind of a non-apology on Twitter. She wrote, "I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment, and I don't expect to be forgiven. I am simply here to apologize." Now, to be clear, Twitter states that this is a rip off of an old Logan Paul apology. So she is not actually apologizing. She still thinks that there's something here to be garnered, some sort of attention for her perverse activity. What should have happened is that she should have been arrested for indecent exposure. But again, that didn't happen because men are supposed to just take it. I just want to say kudos to that guy for telling her to leave the gym. More and more of this is happening. Women are virtually showing up into male spaces half naked and then complaining that they're the victims. Why are you looking at me? I know I'm halfway naked. I'm just here to get a workout. My boobs are out and now I'm just painting my body blue and I'm getting close to you. What an absolute creep this woman is. She shouldn't even be around children, yet alone men. And then I saw this picture. And I've covered this woman extensively on my show. She's one of the great purveyors of modern feminism. Yes, Emily Ratajkowski. I don't know what she has done in society other than be naked. what her contribution has been, other than at the very same time on insisting on her nudity, writing a book and convincing us that men are looking at her, making her a sexual object. Yeah, she actually wrote a book and said that she has been objectified her entire life sexually. Poor Emily Ratajkowski. So anyways, I don't know where she was going the other evening, but I do want to show you this photo of her, a night on the town in New York City. It looks like her assistant is descending out of a black car with her, and this is what Emily Ratajkowski decided to wear. Now, if you're listening to this podcast and you don't see it, it is literally a black bra and underwear, and a sheer top on top.
So, guys, this is the crazy thing. I will say one thing in regards to what Candace said. Now, in terms of women giving away their power and, making sex readily available because now men don't have to pay for it and it's everywhere, this is nonsense. This is absolutely nonsense. Before the 70s, there was a thing called the Summer of Love. Basically, men and women have always, it's always been there. Men and women having relationships prior to marriage. That's nothing new. What's really changed is social media and how women now have the ability to have hookups just around the clock so consistently. Like, in the past, if you go back to the 90s, a woman just, women could always find someone that would be intimate with them. But if they wanted to do that, they had a couple of choices. They would have to wait until a man would walk up to them, have a conversation with them, and then possibly, take them out for dinner or to have, grab coffee. And then they would have no choice but to choose from one of those guys, which is much more normal versus the internet, where they have a ton of men in their Insta, in their DMs, and they can basically pick and choose from these guys around the clock. I mean, most dating right now occurs through the internet. Very few people today actually meet in the real world. And you have women complaining about this on social media now, that men don't approach them anymore. They have very few interactions with men in society. They don't know why men are not approaching. It's as if they're beginning to notice that the relationships online are absolutely fickle. And, these are the same women who said that men should never approach a woman that they do not know under any circumstance. And now the guys that they want to approach them are not approaching them. They're furious about it, which is like, come on, ladies. But, it has nothing to do with the fact that men and women, that men have physical intimacy more readily available to them, because the average man is no longer being physically intimate with a woman. The men who are being physically intimate with women are basically the Chaz and the Tyrones. These are the same guys that historically have always gotten the lion's share of women, to be very honest. These guys have always gotten a lion's share of women, but it's only become on steroids now. Because, like, you have to think about this. Chad and Tyrone, these guys have to have body counts into the hundreds or the thousands sometimes, And then, of course, it made it easier for these women to, reach out to celebrities, because men will basically hook up with a girl who works at McDonald's. Men don't care about how much money a woman makes. They don't care about a woman's status. They don't care about any of these things. And that's what and these girls know this. All of these girls know this. They live life on easy mode. So it's like, when you take that into consideration, it's kind of ridiculous when you say that, oh, well, men are having easy access to physical intimacy. Most men today have dropped out of the dating game. They've dropped out of the dating game. They've dropped out of marriage. Only something like 16.5 men are out of every 1,000 are getting married. It's ridiculous. All right. So like over 98% of men are avoiding marriage at this point. 75% of men are avoiding marriage and dating entirely. Marriage, dating, and relationships entirely right now. In Western society, the numbers are skyrocketing. And it's like, people need to wake up and realize that nothing lasts forever. Men have walked away and men are staying away. They don't want to be in relationships with these people. These people, and then you look at, and I agree with her when she says that, women have become these individuals, like the way that they dress. If you look at the stories online, it's constantly, there are constantly stories now about some teacher who was physically intimate with her students. And it's guys, more and more men have learned their lesson. Like, don't do it. Like it's much more rare today to hear about a man that was working as a teacher and did something with a student versus a woman who's working as every moment, every minute you're hearing about a teacher, some female teacher who's doing this, and she doesn't, and then she ends up getting off pretty easy. As to where a guy ends up getting like 20 years in prison, and his life is ruined, you know, and it, you know, and the person involved was like 17. You know, you have these women who are like literally with, you know, someone from middle school, and sometimes they even get pregnant, and then they get like immediate bail, and then they like try to contact the student who they were intimate with, and it's like just absolute insane stuff. And a lot of times they don't end up serving any time, or not a lot of time, or very little time compared to what a man would get, and no one cares. Literally, no one cares. They say that they're the victims. They'll turn around and say that they're the victims. The student was the one who initiated the relationship, and then you'll have a bunch of simps in the comments on these videos. You just see it over and over saying that, oh boy, we all just wish we had teachers like this when we were kids. And I'm saying to myself, are you out of your mind? You wish that you had a teacher like this when you were 13 years old. You are a sick individual. You are a child. Note that. It's like God help us. I hope you're not a parent. I hope you are not a parent, because no parent should want their child to be in a relationship with a grown woman. You're a sick, like I just say, these people are sick, twisted men. These are simps. Simps are a complete and utter danger to society, danger to humanity. They are absolutely disgusting. I do not like these guys. If you're enjoying this content, please help get the channel to 100,000 subscribers by subscribing to the channel if you already have it, liking the video, and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Candace Owens calls modern women nasty. What do you guys think regarding this? I want to hear your thoughts, so let's talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.